So again, good morning and welcome, my dear medical students, physicians, surgeons and neurophysicians. This lecture on general neuroanatomy. In my last lecture, I was talking about the development of the nervous system, introduction of nervous system, classification and divisions of the nervous system, the functional, genetic and trophic, functional, anatomical, trophic and genetic unit of the nervous system is the neuron or cell body. Neuron including cell body known as soma or perikaryon and the neurites. Neuron includes the cell body and the processes known as neurites. So, neuron is functional, anatomical, trophic and genetic unit of the nervous system, and it is one of two types of cells of the nervous system. I have already told nervous system divided in two parts. One is central part and other is peripheral part in form of ganglion, and peripheral nerves include spinal nerves, cranial nerves and autonomic nerves. So nervous system having two types of cells. One is neuronal cells and others are non-neuronal cells. Neuronal cells also known as the neurons, and these are having a property of generate and transmit the action potential or the impulse. On other hand, the non-excitable cells can't produce action potential and can't propagate the impulse. Non-neuronal cells also known as neuroglial cells. These are of different types in form of astrocytes, in form of oligodendrocytes, in form of microglia cells. In my last lecture, I was talking about the development of nervous system. I will review. From last lecture, there was a neural tube, and this neural tube was having anterior neuropore which closes on the 25th day of the development and posterior neuropore which closes on the 28th day of the development. When anterior neuropore or posterior neuropore remains open or can't fuse or can't close, this will lead some serious complications or serious birth disease in form of rachis or meningomyelocele, spina bifida or anencephaly in case of anterior neuropore. So, this neural tube will form the different parts of the central nervous system. I have already told here was the cerebrum, largest part of the brain, and here was diencephalon. These are two lateral ventricles of the cerebral hemisphere which I will talk in my next lecture. And here is slit-like opening in form of third ventricle. This part, smallest part and most primitive part of the brain is midbrain or mesencephalon. Then pons, medulla and spinal cord. Here is cerebral aqueduct or aqueduct of Sylvius or aqueduct of midbrain, and here is fourth ventricle and roofed by the cerebellum. So this was the brain, part of central nervous system, and spinal cord, part of central nervous system. Upper dilated part of neural tube will form the cerebrum, cerebellum, diencephalon, midbrain, pons and medulla. Midbrain, pons and medulla, collectively known as the brain stem. It is one of the most complicated part of the brain, having scattered nuclei of cranial nerves and bundles of white matter in form of tracts, lemnisci and ascending and descending tracts. So what is a neuron? What is a neuron and how it functions? Neuron, I have already told, anatomical, genetical, functional and trophic unit of the nervous system. So first of all, I will talk about the neuron. The neuron having a cell body known as perikaryon or soma. It is having cell body, I will draw a structure of a typical neuron. As you all know, there are different types of neuron classified on the basis of neurites, on the basis of their functions and on the basis of the size of neuron or length of the axon. So I will draw typical neuron. Typical neuron is having a cell body known as soma. It is also known as soma or perikaryon or known as cell body. Here is the cell body of neuron. It is having small neurites or processes known as dendrites. These are dendrites and a large neurites or large process known as the axon. It is having a big nuclei and a big nucleolus inside the nucleus, big nucleolus and having genetic materials. It is the trophic center of this neuron and it controls all activities of the neuron as well as dendrites and axon. So it is trophic center of the cell or the neuron. It is having rough endoplasmic reticulum having ribosomes. These rough endoplasmic reticulum form clusters which can be seen inside the dendrites and in the cytoplasm. These clusters of the rough endoplasmic reticulum are known as nasal granules. These are seen in the cytoplasm as well as the dendrites. So these are nasal granules or nasal substances. So rough endoplasmic reticulum are in form of clusters. These clusters can be seen in the cytoplasm of the soma, or these can be seen in the small processes known as dendrites. So these clusters of rough endoplasmic reticulum are known as the nasal substances or nasal granules or nasal corpuscles sometimes. Nasal corpuscles. Besides this rough endoplasmic reticulum, the soma is also having smooth endoplasmic reticulum without ribosomes, and these are involved in packaging and modification of the proteins synthesized by the rough endoplasmic reticulum or the nasal substances. As you all know, neurons are metabolically very active. They need more proteins, they need neurotransmitters, and they need modifications and transformation of the neurotransmitter. So they need more proteins, so they are having more rough endoplasmic reticulum, and these are in form of clusters known as nasal substances or nasal granules or corpuscles. So the soma or the body of the nerve cell or perikaryon is having a large, long, single process known as axon and multiple small processes known as dendrites. Besides this, there are Golgi apparatus in form of tubes and cisterns. Besides this, it is having the Golgi apparatus. These are also involved in modifications and packaging of the proteins and other substances formed inside the cytoplasm by different organelles. So Golgi tendon, Golgi apparatus, smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum. It is having mitochondria, spindle shape or shoe shape structure seen in the cytoplasm, inside the dendrites, and also can be seen in the exoplasm. Exoplasm is the cytoplasm of the axon. So it is having mitochondria. These are plenty or numerous mitochondria in the soma and the exoplasm, because nerve cells are metabolically very active. They need more energy, they need more energy and they need more ATP to form the neurotransmitter and to propulse the neurotransmitter in the axon and to generate action potential. So there are many mitochondria in the soma and in the exoplasm. Besides these, there are some vesicles, membrane bound vesicles. These vesicles are having the hydrolytic enzymes inside the cell, and these are the lysosomes. So it is having a smooth endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, and it is having lysosomes, and it is also having, lysosome is also having hydrolytic enzymes. The lack of these hydrolytic or digestive enzyme inside the lysosome are seen in a congenital or genetic disorder known as Tay-Sachs disease. It is known as Tay-Sachs disease or GM2 ganglioside disease. So lack of digestive or hydrolytic enzymes inside the cytoplasm of the neuron is known as Tay-Sachs disease or the GM2 ganglioside disease. So it is having lysosomes, mitochondria, Golgi apparatus, rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum is also known as nasal granules or nasal corpuscles. Besides these all organelles, it is also having some inclusion bodies. These are not seen in all cells of the nervous system, and these can be seen in different forms in different tissues and cells of the nervous system. So there are some inclusion bodies. One of them is the lipofuscin. Lipofuscin, or also known as lipochrome, it is aging inclusion related to aging of the individual. So lipofuscin or lipochrome inclusions are seen in many cells of nervous system, and these can be seen in advanced age. So this is aging inclusion. The other type is known as neuromelanin. Neuromelanin, or simply known as melanin. This neuromelanin or neuromelanin is seen in substantia nigra of the midbrain, a part of basal ganglia. Functionally it is part of basal ganglia, but anatomically it is part of midbrain. So lipochrome, neuromelanin, it is a melanin pigment, black in color, and it is seen in substantia nigra and cellulose. The third type of the inclusion which is seen is Levy bodies. The fourth type of this inclusion is seen in form of Hirano bodies, and in some pathological cases it may be seen in form of Negri bodies. These are characteristic pathological bodies of the rabies. So here, the soma or cell body having nasal corpuscles, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, inclusion bodies in form of lipofuscin, neuromelanin or melanin pigments in substantia nigra of midbrain, Levy's bodies, Hirano bodies, and Negri bodies. The very important thing here I want to mention, it is also having a cytoskeleton of the cell body and the neurites or the processes in form of the microtubules and microfilaments. So it is having filamentous, cytoskeleton of the soma, and small and large processes, that is dendrites and axons. Both are having cytoskeleton, and it provides the shape and size to the soma and the processes. So there are some neurofilaments and collectively known as neurofibrils. These are collectively known as neurofibrils. So neurofibrils are divided in three different types of fibers or filaments. The first of all three types is microtubules. As the name indicate, these are tubular structures having a diameter of 25 nanometer, and these provides the shape and provides scaffolding for the development and regeneration of the nervous system. So microtubules having diameter of 25 nanometer, and these are one of the important part of the cytoskeleton of the neuron. So microtubules are, and these are involved in transportation of the neurotransmitters and other essential metabolites from one part of the soma to the other part of the soma, from one part of the soma to the part of the axon, or part of the dendrite to the soma. So microtubules are involved in transportation of the essential metabolites and are involved in providing the shape and the different size of the soma and neurites. So microtubule second is neurofilaments, or also known as neurofibrils. These are the most abundant type of the filaments in the neuron. Most abundant type is neurofibrils. These are having a diameter of 10 nanometers. These also provide the shape and provide the strength to the dendrites and axon and the soma. These are involved in Alzheimer's disease, where this neurofilament form neurofibrillary tangles. These are involved in formation of neurofibrillary tangles in Alzheimer's disease. And third type is, first is microtubule neurofilaments and third is microfibrils. These are having diameter of 5 nanometer. One very important point I want to mention here, these microtubules and microfibrils, these are actin proteins, and these neurofilament are spiral proteins. Then microtubules and microfilaments are seen in almost all cells of the body, but these are neurofilaments or neurofibrils are characteristic feature of the nervous cells only. And these microfibrils are seen in cluster form below the cell membrane or seen in dendrites and other parts of the neurites. Here I want to mention one more thing. These Nigel granules are seen in soma or cell body or cytoplasm and also seen in dendrites, but they are lacking in the some part of the cytoplasm near the axon, and in whole length of axon no Nigel granules are seen in this initial segment. So the part of soma near the axon is lacking the Nigel granules, but almost all other organelles seen in cytoplasm can be seen here also, but it is only lacking in this Nigel granules. This part of the cytoplasm and adjacent part of the axon which is lacking in Nigel granules, this part is known as axon hillock. So axon hillock is part of axon and some part adjacent to the initial part of the axon which is lacking Nigel granules is known as axon hillock, and later I will talk later on about this. The part adjacent to the axon hillock of axon which is lacking the myelin sheath. What is myelin sheath? I will talk in this lecture later. Part of axon adjacent to the axon hillock but lacking myelin sheath known as initial segment. This is initial segment and it is involved in generating action potential or generating impulse. So cytoskeleton of the neuron is having microtubules diameter of 25 nanometer and form. The cytoskeleton provides shape and provides scaffolding for the regeneration and development of the nervous system, and it is also involved in transportation of neurotransmitters and other essential metabolites from one part of the cell to the other part of the cell, or also involved in transportation of the the essential metabolites and the neurotransmitter in axon. Second type is neurofilament. This is specific for the neurons only, having diameter of 10 nanometer, and it is a spiral protein. And microfibrils are only very, very, very small filaments or fibrils having only 5 nanometer in diameter, and these are actin proteins and can be seen in all cells of the body. Here I want to mention one more thing. Here a small body is seen in case of the female, and this is known as Barr body. This is known as Barr body. It is nothing more than inactive X chromosome of the female. As you all know, female is having 2 X chromosomes, male is having X and Y sex chromosomes. One of 2 sex chromosomes of female, that is X and X, one of them become inactive and it will form the Barr body. Now I will talk about the neurites, that is axon and dendrites. A typical cell is having a single axon and multiple small processes known as dendrites. These dendrites are afferent, bringing impulse from their terminal end to the soma. So these are afferent types of neurites or processes. On other hand, a large single axon, it is efferent and bringing the impulse away from the soma or cell body, and these are bringing the impulse from distal part of or distal end of the dendrites towards the soma. So it is having 2 types of neurites, multiple neurites, small r dendrites, and large single neurite or process is known as axon. So the feature of these dendrites, characteristically, these are having multiple branching or arborization, and these are tapering processes, taper after each branching and decrease in diameter. So a typical dendrite is having branching like a tree, also known as arborization. So arborized process of the soma is known as dendrite. It is having multiple branching and tapering in nature. After each branching, I will draw the structure of a typical dendrite here. It is having diameter, then after each branching